Hi, I'm Eric Norris, coming to you from beautiful, if slightly smoky, Los Angeles, California. I was a student on a course in Colorado in the early 90s, and I've been a supporter ever since. And I think it's time to circle up.
Hi, my name is Danny Golden, and I'm a former Outward Bound instructor for the Northwest Outward Bound School in Mazama, Washington. And I partner with Outward Bound to bring high school students into the wilderness.
Hey, I'm Stu.
I'm Steph. I'm Patty. I'm Kaya. And we're here at the Mazama Base Camp in North Central Washington.
Hi, I'm Amy Compton, and I'm a board member at Northwest Outward Bound School.
Hi, I'm Karen.
I'm Ann.
I'm Corey. I'm Abby. We're the Odin Falls admin team at the NWOBS base camp in Redmond, Oregon. Woohoo!
Hi, I'm Nadia Warner. I am in Salt Lake City, Utah. I took a 50-day educator's course out of Odin Falls in 2008 and then instructed for Odin Falls from 2009 until 2012. One of my fondest memories are the big and classy breakfasts and the send-off circles before course.
Hi, I'm Pau Cisternas from Barcelona, and I was a student on the North Cascades course in 2017.
I'm Steve Smith in Seattle, Washington. I started with Outward Bound in 1998 as a mountaineering instructor in Mazama, a former board member, and currently serving on the safety committee. And it's a real pleasure to be here with all of you at the Circle Up event. I hope you have a great time. And I'm going to pass this to my dear friend on my right.
Hi there, I'm Ernie Jones in Portland, Oregon, and I was an instructor and chief instructor mostly on mountain courses from 1978 to 86, and then worked professional development programs after that for a few years. I really enjoyed teaching, and I felt really lucky to make lifelong friends and to work in places that had incredible spirit and beauty.
Joe-san. Oh, hi, Mike. Good morning, my name's Mike Armstrong, and I worked for PCOBS and NWOBS from 1995 to 2017. I'm currently the head of operations at Outward Bound Hong Kong, here in Tai Mong Chai, Sai Kung, Hong Kong, and wanting to wish you peace, love, and health from the other side of the globe. Have an awesome circle up, and I miss y'all. Gai Sai, bye-bye.
Well, hello and welcome everyone to tonight's live virtual fundraising event for Northwest Outward Bound School. I'm Jonna Wells, and I am honored to serve as your host for this evening's celebration. I'd like to start things off by extending a heartfelt thank you to the Northwest Outward Bound School alumni for tonight's opening video. It's so great to see everyone passing that infamous Blue Peter flag, signifying that this evening's journey has officially begun. Tonight's celebration is the culmination of the virtual Alumni and Friends Weekend that featured several interactive opportunities for Northwest Outward Bound School alumni to reconnect with each other. For alumni, the Outward Bound experience is one that they will not soon forget. And that's truly because this experience is far from ordinary. Whether you've taken a course, you've worked as an instructor, or you just love Outward Bound and their inspiring programs, we are so grateful that you're here with us this evening. Without a doubt, this year has been challenging for everyone, both personally and professionally. It has tested our families, our health, and our stamina. But fortunately, when faced with challenges and the right tools, we can often emerge stronger, individually and collectively. That's why tonight's celebration for Northwest Outward Bound School is so very meaningful. So if you're joining us this evening as an alumni, you know that Outward Bound philosophy maintains that by facing the challenges that the course will offer you, You will emerge physically and mentally stronger with an increased mastery of not only expedition skills, but perhaps even more importantly, a better understanding of your own capabilities, a better understanding of your own abilities to overcome challenges that at first may have seemed insurmountable, but in the end were actually achievable. In short, Northwest Outward Bound School provides participants with a sense of self-discovery and the acute awareness that you are capable of more than you ever thought possible. And tonight, we're circling up to pay it forward to help others experience the life-changing moments that happen on these courses. While perhaps ambitious and bold, when we circle up with support tonight during this virtual fundraising event, we can further empower the mission to create a more resilient and compassionate world with more resilient and compassionate citizens. Tonight we have the honor of hearing stories about how Northwest Outward Bound School has had a profound impact on some of those who have experienced the coursework. We'll also have the honor of hearing from one incredibly inspiring person who learned firsthand how to harness her own power within after hiking more than 1,000 miles of the Pacific Crest Trail from the Mojave Desert through California and Oregon, all the way to Washington State. American memoirist, novelist, essayist, podcast host, the beloved Cheryl Strayed. But before we travel much further into tonight's virtual fundraising celebration, let's hear a little bit more about this phenomenal organization.
Here's a day to bring it, like you've never brought it before.
First of all, I would like to officially welcome you to Outward Bound. Yeah! Yeah!
Outward Bound is a character development school that uses high-impact activities in a wilderness setting to teach human skills, leadership, communication, teamwork.
The courses are really hard.
If it's not hard, I'd say it's not Outward Bound.
I mean, the point is that you do things you don't even think are possible, and you take on more responsibility along the way.
Shed a lot of tears, both from laughing so hard and from facing things I'd never faced before, and this is the best way I could have spent this summer.
And the more time you spend out of your comfort zone, the larger your comfort zone actually gets.
That's where confidence comes from.
The biggest thing is self-confidence and pride.
Going through an Outward Bound experience lets you understand that you really can accomplish anything.
It just gives you a whole new sense of life.
And really makes you see your potential and what you're actually capable of.
I felt great, like I was on top of the world. I felt like shouting, like I accomplished something.
Look at that! Students will say that more often than not, that if I can do this, I can do anything.
Because you can take confidence home. You don't know what you're going to do with it, but whatever you choose to do with it, you're going to do more.
To see how much they grow, not only as a group, but as individuals, is phenomenal.
I'm super stoked to be here.
It's incredible.
This course will change you.
This place definitely changed my life.
This is exactly what I need right now.
Again, we're so grateful that you've all chosen to circle up together this evening to support Northwest Outward Bound School. And throughout tonight's event, there will be many ways that you can pay it forward and help others in our community to experience these life-changing adventures. You can participate in our online auction, which is happening right now. You can take part in tonight's featured raffle and our forthcoming moment of giving, which provides you with an opportunity to give in direct support of the school. But in order to participate in these exciting opportunities, you'll need to be formally registered to participate. If you're already tuned into tonight's virtual event, guess what? You're halfway there. You can use your computer or tablet to watch this very live broadcast and perhaps grab a secondary device. Maybe it's your smartphone or tablet. You could even open up a secondary browser on your window of your computer, and you're going to head over to the following link, and that link is NWOBS2020.ggo.bid. From there, you're going to click the Get Started button, which is located in the top right-hand corner of your screen. Then you're going to click the green Create Account button. You'll enter and confirm your email address, and then you're set, you're off and running. If you'd like to make a donation via telephone tonight, you can do that as well. Simply call us on the number that's showing on your screen, and that number is 503-773-2681. I mentioned that one way you can show your support this evening is by purchasing a raffle ticket. And this evening's raffle is a fantastic prize that we're offering to you. It is a Wild package, that's for sure, and it includes a beautiful leather edition copy of Wild, signed by Cheryl Strayed, plus a 3-night getaway to a Mount Hood cabin, a tour of Timberline Lodge, and a gift certificate to one of Cheryl's favorite restaurants, Luca, as well as a gift card from Broadway Florist. So once you've logged on and registered to participate in tonight's event, you're going to want to purchase your raffle tickets right away, and here's why. Though our online auction won't come to a close until 9 p.m. tonight, sales for tonight's raffle will actually conclude at 7:15 p.m. So you have just a few more minutes left to purchase those tickets, again, for the chance to win this awesome prize. If you've not yet done so, make sure to do that right here and now. And if you're out of state and you'd like to purchase a ticket, you can do so by phone. Again, you can call us at 503-773-2681 to purchase those raffle tickets if you're purchasing those tickets out of state. Again, once you've registered, you can champion for Northwest Outward Bound School by joining in tonight's moment of giving. You can bid on any of the incredible auction packages that are featured in tonight's online auction. And throughout tonight's program, we'll be highlighting a selection of these auction packages throughout the show. You can find the remainder of these fantastic offerings online. And again, the link to our online auction is nwobs2020.ggo.bid. Upon registering, you'll be automatically entered into a drawing. Now, this is really cool. This is a Watch to Win drawing that we're offering free of charge to everyone that registers to showcase support tonight. This is our way of saying thank you to everyone for tuning in tonight. The winner of this drawing will receive a weekend in a Portland Airbnb. This is the perfect getaway for anyone that's craving a little staycation, a little respite. As if that weren't enough to inspire your support tonight, in fact, the first 25 donors that showcase support this evening are going to receive a Northwest Outward Bound Earthwell Pint Camp Cup. This is perfect for camping, for backpacking, backyard parties, festivals, and urban dwelling. We want to make all of these opportunities for you to showcase your support tonight easy to access. So if throughout the evening, at any point in time you experience any technical difficulties or you have any questions, please reach out to us by calling the number on screen for that support. Again, tonight is a celebration of the community that has come together to champion for Northwest Outward Bound School and their continued efforts to build compassionate leaders with limitless possibilities. And throughout the event, we would love to hear from you all. Again, we'd love to see your support showcased in our online auction and moment of giving, but we also want to hear directly from you tonight. So send us a message by joining in our chat window that's available and visible now. And if you haven't yet visited our virtual photo booth, head on over to the link shown on your screen right here and now and follow those directions so that we can see all of your smiling faces circling up in support tonight. You know, individual support for the Outward Bound community is integral to their ability to continue serving diverse populations of students, ensuring that programs continue to have a far-reaching positive impact. And that support is found through both the generous support of donors, like each and every one of you tuned in at home tonight, and through the dedicated board of directors that continue to hold tight to Outward Bound's mission. This mission allows Northwest Outward Bound School to serve as a compass which stewards their programs that take shape from the San Juan Islands down through the Central Cascades of Oregon. And with that in mind, it's my pleasure to introduce you to one such board member here and now, Northwest Outward Bound School Board Chair Kathleen Wood.
Hi, Kathleen Wood here. I am the chair of the Northwest Outward Bound School, and I'm really happy to welcome you to our event, our virtual event for alumni and friends of alumni. It's actually been held over the last few days, and I hope you've had a chance to experience some of the learning sessions, and tonight we're going to have a great time There's going to be an auction, a paddle race, and some other fun things. And we're going to hear from Cheryl Strayed about her experiences in the wilderness. And I think there's a really large overlap between her learnings and what she shares about her experience and what we know and love about Outward Bound. Wow, what a year it's been. I feel like I've been challenged this year in a way that I haven't in a long time, just in daily living, and I've had to rely a lot on what I learned from instructing at Outward Bound. That's been tough, but it's also given us an opportunity to really think differently about what we do and how we provide our curriculum, the Outward Bound experience to people. So this event is an example of really us thinking differently about how to bring people together, and we hope you enjoy that. One of the things that we do on events now and at the start of courses is to really honor the land that we use. We have the opportunity to use and bring these hundreds of students a year too in these outdoor spaces, and they're remote and they're beautiful, and they're on pieces of land that have been inhabited for many, many years. If you didn't know, Portland headquarters here is built on the traditional lands of the Multnomah, Wasco, Cowlitz, Cathlamet, Clackamas, and the bands of Chinook, Tualatin, Kalapuya, and Molalla, along with many other tribes that lived along the Columbia River. Our base camp in Oregon, Odin Falls, is located on the ancestral lands of the Confederated Tribes of Warm Springs, comprising Warm Springs, Wasco, and Paiute tribes. And the Mazama base camp in Washington is on the ancestral lands of the Lakapamuts and the Okanagan tribes. So we want to acknowledge the systemic policies that have continued to impact many Indigenous families and recognize that we're here because the land was occupied and its traditional people were displaced. And in that, we want to really honor and be grateful for both the land itself and the people who have been stewards of the land, both past and present. So thank you for honoring that with us tonight. I hope you have a great time at the event. I'll see you there. And again, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Kathleen. Northwest Outward Bound School has had a significant impact on so many lives throughout the years. Founded in 1965, thousands of individuals have journeyed through programs that are featured here with positive, life-changing experiences in the magnificent, almost otherworldly settings of the Great Pacific Northwest. And here and now, we're excited to introduce you to a past student whose life has been forever changed through the challenge and discovery found through Northwest Outward Bound School.
Hello, my name is Alec Vidillo. I am a Northwest Outward Bound alumni. I went on a course in 2017 in Redmond, Oregon, which was a 21-day course. The first week was a river rafting course with kayaking, and then my next 2 weeks was a mountaineering course. One of my favorite memories I remember from my course in 2017 was Goats Peak. It's a beautiful spot. You can see everything around you, and I mean, you can see the entire forest, you can see all the mountains, you can even see Redmond from afar away, and that's how crazy it is, that view. The thing about that makes it my favorite was that actually I'm afraid of heights. And so when it came to the actual activity, we were supposed to do a rock climbing. And so we had equipment, we had our guides being there for our safety to make sure we also had a fun time as well. And a particular guide, Matt, he's an expert rock climber. He made it look easy. For me, I was terrified. I didn't know if I actually was going to complete the activity because I was so afraid of the heights and so afraid of like falling and stuff like that, because even though I'm being held by all this equipment and all these ropes and everything, it's still a huge intense fear I had. And when I got to the top of the peak and I was sitting down, and so how you could sit down, you were sort of like lounging actually, because everybody was just lying down and looking around the view. I had tears in my eyes because it was, first of all, one of the most beautiful scenes I've ever seen in my life so far, but it was also just a great moment of triumph for me because I thought I wasn't going to be able to complete it. And the fact that I was able to get to the top, even with my fear of heights and the rock climbing, and I was able to see the beautiful view, and I had tears in my eyes. It was just a life-changing and extraordinary moment for me. I say that because my intentions of first starting that journey was also a case for redemption and having a lot of things on my mind. And this course gave me not only clarity, peace of mind, but it also gave me a new sense of drive and adventure. And even now, I still believe that Outward Bound was one of the best things that's happened to me so far in my life. For me, it brought out a new sense of adventure, a new sense of I can accomplish things when I really set my mind to it. When I think about those memories, the course in general, Goats Peak, it'll remind me of that no matter the challenges I face, like Goats Peak, I can accomplish them.
This story reinforces the life-changing work of Northwest Outward Bound School. Today in the United States, Outward Bound expeditions and programs bring this mission to life throughout the year, every day for roughly 35,000 students annually. With 11 chartered Outward Bound schools across the country, they offer a range of specialized courses and programs, including the award-winning program for veterans, a program for teens grieving with the loss of a family member, programs for families with teens or young adults that are struggling with issues at school or at home. Bringing this extensive reach of support and programming to the Northwest, of course, requires the thoughtful leadership of a fellow adventurer with a whole lot of heart. So with that in mind, we are excited to introduce you now to Northwest Outward Bound School Executive Director, Mark Heister.
Good evening, and thank you all for joining our Circle Up Alumni and Friends Gala. We hope you have enjoyed the programming from the last couple of days, and in it found a rekindled sense of connection and belonging. We know that those feelings are so hard to find this year during the pandemic, and we hope that connecting to Outward Bound and your experience helped to provide that over the last couple of days. We've been able to bring together over 5 decades of students, staff, and board. Folks joined from around the country and around the world. Even my 5-year-old son Milo, a future NWOBS alum, is watching from home tonight. How amazing is it that in this pandemic we've been able to bring us all together? I am sure we share many things in common, but among those, a commitment to a greater good and a more compassionate world. One beacon of hope in this year has been knowing that our alum and the skills they learned from our courses are out in the world putting those to use. Whether it's the healthcare or wildfire front lines, or students, teachers, and parents navigating online school, we know that our alumni have put those skills to use. And we know that our values have served us well this year, as so many of us have done the personal reflection and collective action needed to start to address the country's systemic racism and the inequities that have existed for far too long. Of course, 2020 has been anything but a typical year, and it's meant that we have not been able to serve our usual 1,600 students. This fall, we've been thrilled to be able to offer virtual and day programming with some of our community partners. And starting next year in February, we envision a much more typical year of Outward Bound programming, albeit adapted as necessary as long as the pandemic continues. We know that youth need the connection, healing, and growth experiences that our courses offer, and we're prepared to offer those safely and adapted in a way that addresses the collective trauma of this year. Of course, our work would not be possible without the amazing NWOBS staff. Together, we strive every day to keep the impactful legacy of our school alive while also adapting to the needs of our students. We know that Outward Bound courses change lives, and we also know that so much of that transformative experience lies in the expert hands of our instructors. As educators, this year has also reminded us how often the teacher is also the student. We've leaned hard on our own teachings this year to support each other, adapt, and persevere. We know that on an Outward Bound course, students often grow the most and quickest during those moments of intense challenge. For NWOBS, this is that time, and this is our course. And as with a course, we know that some of our learnings we know now, and some will unfold over time. But we'll be able to look back and know we are stronger, more adaptable, and more prepared to serve our students and their needs. And we'll also know that we'll have gained a family, a crew, supporters like no other. Thank you for being part of that crew and helping us adapt and persevere. Many of you have joined us tonight because you know personally the transformational nature of our work. You know that our courses can help bridge divides and provide personal healing spaces. And you share our commitment to tackling the inequities and systemic racism that exist in outdoor spaces, and ensuring that our programming is relevant and accessible to all. Thank you for joining us tonight, and thank you for believing in the power of our work. As we continue through the event, we ask that you give generously to pay it forward for our students this fall, next year, and beyond. With your support, we'll have the organizational strength to provide powerful, inclusive, and healing experiences, something our nation's youth needs so very badly right now. Thank you again for joining us. Thank you for believing and investing in the power of Outward Bound.
Well said, Mark. And through the power of virtual streaming channels and tonight's live feed, it's my pleasure to welcome you to the studio here tonight, Mark.
Great. Thank you, Jonna. It's great to be here with you and our alumni on this very special evening as we celebrate the culmination of our Circle Up weekend. I've loved hearing from individuals whose lives were forever changed after their experiences and how they've used those lessons in the rest of their lives today. And it's great to see so many friends who have joined us this evening. Please hop onto the chat and say hello. We'd love to hear from you. Throughout the years, the school has embraced and supported by so many community members and business leaders. And right now, I'd like to recognize a few of tonight's sponsors that have joined and supported Northwest Outward Bound School and helped make this weekend possible.
I mentioned at the top of tonight's program that there are so many ways that you can circle up and pay it forward to help support the great work of Northwest Outward Bound School. Again, by joining in support of tonight's online auction, which Mark and I will tell you a little bit about here shortly, you can empower their efforts to offer others the chance to experience the transformative power of getting out into the wilderness.
That's right, Jonna. And our online auction tonight features a fantastic array of packages, which will all remain open until 9 p.m. This amazing collection of packages featured tonight, and Jonna and I will highlight a few of those throughout the night. With that said, let's take a look at one of them now.
That sounds great. You know, it doesn't get much better than Lake Tahoe with its majestic beauty and choice of winter activities. This particular package offers a 3-night stay at the Hyatt Regency and also includes round-trip airfare for 2, as well as Hyatt gift cards that can be used towards the purchase of lift tickets for skiing or snowboarding at Diamond Peak Ski Resort. And travel extends for 2 years, so you've got a 2-year expiration on this package from the point of purchase, which is pretty exciting. Again, continue to place bids on all of tonight's exciting auction packages. This Tahoe Getaway is just one of the many offerings featured in tonight's online auction. And Mark and I will have the pleasure of highlighting a few more of these featured packages throughout the remainder of tonight's program. So again, stay tuned, place your bids on those packages. We'll be cheering you on as we move through the remainder of tonight's virtual celebration. And as you continue to place your bids on those packages, friends, again, continue to keep in mind that there are many opportunities to showcase your support here tonight. The support that you provide this evening will help Northwest Outward Bound School to further propel their efforts. Continue placing those bids, continue to showcase that support tonight, providing tuition-free experiences for those who may not have the financial means to do so. Every single time that you click that donate button or participate in our online auction, it's thanks to the support that you're showcasing here tonight that Northwest Outward Bound School is able to journey with students into lush forests with some of the tallest trees on earth and volcanic mountain landscapes. These are the classrooms where the Northwest Outward Bound School provides learning opportunities that strengthen character, build leadership skills, inspire compassion, and help create an ethic of social and environmental responsibility. And again, remember, you can use your computer or tablet to watch this live broadcast, and a secondary device, perhaps it's your smartphone, we've often all got one of those on hand, to make a donation or to bid in tonight's online auction. Again, head over to the following link. That link again is nwobs2020.ggo.bid, and from there you can bid and give to your heart's content. And if you prefer to donate via telephone, we've made those arrangements for everybody tonight. You can call us at 503-773-2681.
We know that youth need the connection, healing, and growth opportunities that our courses provide. And this year, we're prepared to provide those safely in a way that recognizes and adapts to the collective trauma of this year. In fact, through the last few months, we've continually asked ourselves, how do we serve during this time? How do we find a way to help youth struggling with the impact of this so challenging year? So, as with all of you, we've adapted. We've prepared new and safe ways to deliver our educational programs so we can answer the call to service during this challenging time. In a time of social isolation, helping youth find direction, solace, and connection is more important than ever. And we rose to that occasion this fall, and in February, we'll restart our overnight programming. All of this programming empowers students to find strength within themselves and process and heal the events and experiences of this year.
That's absolutely right. And you know, who better to share with us this evening just how transformative these experiences truly are than the participants themselves. So with that in mind, let's hear once again firsthand from a participant who has journeyed with Northwest Outward Bound School.
Hi, my name is Antonia Maurer, and I went on my Outward Bound experience in 2002. I had just finished my sophomore year of high school. It was the summer, and I did a 3-week backpacking only trip in the North Cascades in the Okanagan National Forest. Going on my Outward Bound experience has impacted my life tremendously. It came at a time when that was really impactful for me at 15 years old. And it gave me tremendous confidence and leadership skills that I hadn't had previously. And I just remember that first day when I had 60 pounds of gear on my back. And I really, truly did not know if I was going to make it to camp that night. It was so physically difficult for me. And coming into camp, it was amazing because I had did it. I had conquered something that I didn't know if I could physically do it. And I did that by just putting one foot in front of the other and continuing to do that. And in my mind, continuing to tell myself, just put one foot in front of the other. And that skill, that ability to just keep going beyond where I think is possible, has helped propel me into many leadership positions at the local, state, and national level. And I feel like it's a skill that so many people would benefit from. Just knowing that if you just keep going beyond where you think you can possibly go, you'll make it to where you're trying to get to. Outward Bound is an extremely important program. In fact, I recommend Outward Bound to most people I know. I feel like it is an experience that helps you not just commune with nature, but commune with yourself. Every day that you're on a course, you're trying something new, or you're pushing your own limits, or you're finding out that there really is no limit, that you can push hard and you can keep going and eventually you'll make it. And those are really important things to learn about yourself, so that when you're out in kind of the real world, you can know that you have the confidence, you have the skills to be able to do anything that you want to do.
We are so very grateful to the participants that are featured in tonight's testimonial videos to share in the positive, life-changing experiences that have been provided through these programs. Life-changing experiences that, again, are truly made possible thanks to the support that's showcased throughout this virtual fundraising event. And there are so many ways to champion for Northwest Outward Bound School tonight. And one of the most impactful ways to showcase your support this evening is by contributing directly to tonight's moment of giving.
In fact, in an effort to inspire a surge of support this evening, donors Scott and Judy South join us to champion our work and hope to inspire you to do the same. They've put forth a tremendously generous matching challenge. Throughout the remainder of tonight, Scott and Judy will match the first $25,000 raised. Thank you so much for this incredibly generous support.
Absolutely. Our thanks to Scott and Judy. Thank you so much for this generous matching challenge. And friends, click that donate button right here and now with a gift at any level of giving that inspires you, and have those contributions matched. Again, as Mark just mentioned, matched dollar for dollar up to $25,000. What an opportunity we have before us now. And again, as you continue to click that donate button, we're excited to tell you about a program with our public schools and Northwest Outward Bound.
The students that comprise my AVID class are incredibly diverse. They come from different backgrounds, different experiences. What Northwest Outward Bound Schools gives them an opportunity to do is to come together, to collaborate, to problem solve, and to get to know the depths of each other's stories on levels that they probably wouldn't if they were just in a regular classroom. I believe that the Northwest Outward Bound Schools program is essential in helping these kids determine who they are, where they want to go, and the skills that they need to have in order to be successful in life.
I started with Outward Bound Middle School. The summer of 8th grade, I did go to an Outward Bound course. It was a super fun Outward Bound course. You develop a lot of leadership skills. You are with a group of 10 kids for 2 weeks, kids you don't even know. And by the end of the course, you will feel like they're your family.
For me personally, Outward Bound helps me a lot with communicating and kind of being in a group, working with my peers, really. Before Outward Bound, it was kind of hard to work in groups for me. I was a really shy person, so I didn't talk to a lot of people.
So that's why Northwest Outward Bound is such a great partnership, because it allows us to be able to focus on those skills that we know adults need to have in their jobs as people. I can't teach that from a book, from a video, or a reenactment in class. And I see them just that quiet confidence of everyone's gonna be quiet right now, we're all in a circle, and I'm gonna have my say too. The students come back and they're carrying themselves differently. And these little skills that Northwest Outward Bound is giving us is giving those students that edge, not just sitting in the classroom learning.
You know, Mark, as a parent, I'm so fond of the sentiment shared in that last video and the support that you've provided with the public schools program. And friends, you can empower these opportunities found through the public schools program and propel youth into a journey of truly life-changing experiences, and help provide tuition-free programming for veterans throughout the Pacific Northwest, along with so many others, by supporting Northwest Outward Bound School right here, right now, simply by donating tonight at any level of giving that inspires your support. Or if you're feeling adventurous, you can bid in one of our online auction offerings here and now tonight. Speaking of our online auction, Mark, let's tell our viewers about the next few packages that we'll be highlighting.
Great. Sounds great, Jonna. I'm getting hungry just thinking about this next package. Perfect for gourmets and wine buffs. This week-long Italian stay will take you to Rome for 2 nights and then 5 days in a hidden Tuscan valley to enjoy local food specialties. The area also has beautiful areas for walking, hiking, and biking, so you can work up an appetite between meals. And again, you have 2 years to book that travel.
And friends, our opening bid is at $3,500, so click that bid button right here and now. Get in on the action. You've got a 2-year time frame to access this travel opportunity to spend an unforgettable stay in Italy. So make that happen. Place those bids now. And now it gives me great pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker this evening. She's the author of the #1 New York Times bestselling memoir, Wild, which was chosen by Oprah Winfrey as her first selection for Oprah's Book Club 2.0. Cheryl Strayed's books have been translated into nearly 40 languages around the world and have been adapted for both screen and the stage. The Oscar-nominated movie adaptation of Wild stars Reese Witherspoon as Cheryl Strayed and Laura Dern as Cheryl's mother, Bobby. We are so thrilled that Cheryl resides here in our beloved Pacific Northwest and is able to join us virtually this evening.
Hi, everyone. I am thrilled to be here at the virtual Circle Up for Northwest Outward Bound School with all of you. Thank you so much for joining us. As you might guess, I feel like I'm kindred spirits with all of you alumni and friends and people who believe in the transformative power of venturing into the wilderness, discovering and challenging yourself and finding what you could learn about the world and yourself. When I have traveled the world talking about my book Wild and the movie Wild over the last 8+ years since the book was published, I've met countless people who have said to me, oh yeah, I relate to you. I also went on a wild journey. And of course, they don't mean they hiked the PCT necessarily. What they mean is that they went on their own wilderness adventure. And many, many, many times, a huge percentage of the time, I would say, the adventures that those folks went on were outward bound adventures. And so I've long known that we have so much in common. I went on my own wild journey in the summer of 1995 when I was 27 years old. I hiked 1,100 miles of the Pacific Crest Trail. And I really began that trip because I thought I couldn't go on. I know it sounds like a strange paradox. Here I was, a young woman who felt like she couldn't move forward at all and decided to do a trip that involved nothing, that required nothing but moving forward. That is the power of hiking. That is the power of a long distance trail. I learned about the Pacific Crest Trail when I was living in Minneapolis. I had been really struggling because a few years before that, my dear mother died very suddenly of cancer at the age of 45. She was really my only parent. I had, at a younger age, essentially stopped my relationship with my father. He was abusive and he left my life when I was 6. But the good news is that my mother was incredible, a loving, giving, generous mother. And even though we lived in poverty and there were many, many struggles, I had a beautiful childhood because of her. Against every odd, she brought love and joy and light into my life and the lives of my brother and sister. So when she died very suddenly, so young, I didn't know how I could go on living. I felt like in so many ways to honor her, I had to ruin myself. And so, I did what a lot of people who are suffering do. I turned that sorrow and rage inward in the form of self-destruction. I got involved with drugs. I got involved with things that were incredibly bad for me, that were contradictory to the person I knew I really was on the inside, the young woman who, in spite of the odds, was wildly ambitious and wanted to grow up and be a writer. And so I lost my way. And about 3.5 years after my mom died, I looked up from what really felt like the bottom of a well, the bottom point of my life for sure. I felt total despair, and I knew only one thing: I couldn't go down further and survive, and I had to figure out how to pull myself up. It was then that I thought about the wilderness. I had grown up in northern Minnesota or at least spent my teen years growing up in northern Minnesota. I knew that the woods were the place that I felt the wholest, the most healed, the strongest. And so I turned to the wilderness to save me. I came upon a guidebook that talked about the Pacific Crest Trail. I'd never heard of it. I was living in Minnesota at the time. And I just thought, okay, even though it feels like I cannot go on, I'm going to do this trail. I'm going to see what it feels like to have to put one foot in front of the other, see what happens to me. So that's what I did. In June of 1995, I began my journey. I didn't have enough money to fund the entire trail, so it was a hike on the entire trail. So I decided to hike for about 3 months, about 1,100 miles of it. And I found when I got out there, I had never gone backpacking before, and I found that backpacking was different than hiking in this really important way, and that is you have to carry all your own stuff. And I made the very novice and very, very common backpacker mistake that some of you are going to relate to, of carrying way too many things. I had a saw. I don't know what I was going to do with it, but I took one with me. And my pack was so heavy, honestly, I couldn't even stand up. Those of you who've read the book know that I call it, I was hunching in a remotely upright position. That's how I began my hike. It was really hard. It was harder than I thought it would be. It was more physically painful than I thought it would be. And many times I was mad at myself for getting myself into this trip. Why am I here when I could be doing something so much more fun, so much more relaxing, so much easier than this? What I also found, of course, is that this difficulty, this challenge was changing me on a really deep core level. It was teaching me that I could do it. I could bear this unbearable backpack. I could put one foot in front of the other and keep walking, even though it hurt, even though it was sometimes excruciating. And of course, what happened is that lesson that I learned, that I taught myself, that the wilderness taught me, I taught myself because I put myself in the wilderness in this situation, is it spilled over into the other parts of me, my emotional life, my psychological life. How could I live without my mother was the question I began the trail with. And the trail taught me how. And it taught me that it wasn't going to be easy, but I could do it. I could be resilient. I could be strong. I was strong. I was resilient. I learned that with every step along the way. And that is precisely what the Northwest Outward Bound School teaches all the people it brings into this experience. That's why this is such important work. This isn't just about having fun or adventures in the wilderness, though of course we get to do that. It's actually about fostering a situation in which we learn how to be strong. We learn how to be compassionate with ourselves and others. We learn how to accept hard times, and we learn how to be resilient through them. That is life-changing, deep, transformative work. And it doesn't just impact the individual. And I just want to say, even if there was no impact beyond the individual, wow, what a big thing that is. That is why all these years later, after people take these journeys, they come to my book readings and say, I relate. I went on an outward bound trip. I never forgot it. It changed me. But even if it just stopped there, it would be amazing, right? But what we know is it doesn't stop there. That when we become strong, compassionate, resilient people, we bring that into the world. We bring that into our homes, our families, our relationships, our schools, our communities. And the world is transformed because of it. When I finished my hike on the Pacific Crest Trail, I didn't think, wow, now I can go conquer everything. I had a tremendous sense of humility about the accomplishment I'd made in hiking those 1,100 miles. But what I felt very strongly is that I was going to be okay, and that I could face anything that came my way, that I could keep putting one foot in front of the other, no matter how difficult it was to do that. That's what Northwest Outward Bound School gives to its many, many people it reaches: children, adults, young people, people who have been left out of the narrative when it comes to who gets to be in the outdoors, people who have suffered traumas or sorrows like I did, people who have suffered systemic traumas like racism and classism and poverty, those are the people that Northwest Outward Bound School is reaching out to and guiding toward this amazing experience. Thank you so much for joining me and supporting them. Your work makes a difference in the lives of individuals and in the world. Your generosity is so appreciated. Happy trails, dear hearts. Keep walking.
When we become strong, compassionate, resilient people, we bring that into the world, and the world is transformed because of it. Thank you, Cheryl. You truly, truly see us. We feel so honored and so very grateful to have you join in our support of tonight's event. Thank you for sharing your powerful story of transformation this evening. And I'm excited to announce that the first 25 donors to give $500 will receive an autographed copy of Wild. What a fantastic keepsake of your support tonight. It can be easy to miss that our work is healing work. Our students face their fears, their past, their trauma. And as Cheryl so eloquently shared, they bring that new view of life back to their family, school, and community. The impact is far beyond the personal. In a year like 2020, it is so impactful to know that our alumni are prepared to face the challenges of this year head on. Equally important, we are prepared and adapting to help students with the healing needs and the challenges of 2020. And now let's hear from another Northwest Outward Bound School alumni and her own story of healing and the Pacific Crest Trail.
All right, so hi, my name is Lauren Westmoreland. I am an alumni for the Northwest Outward Bound School, and the course I did was in 2019. The course that I took was the Pacific Crest Trail prep course. We started in right above Crater Lake and then ended in Timberline Lodge. I went for a very specific reason. In April of 2019, my boyfriend of 6 years was killed in a school shooting. He tackled the shooter. It was sort of a situation where I felt like my life was all kind of planned out. I was planning on marrying him. I was planning on all sorts of things for my future, and then it all just was kind of taken away from me and from us. Just the sudden nature of it kind of just ripped the rug out from underneath me, and that was kind of why I went looking for something that I could do to help myself, I guess, get through the grief. But I ended up going with Outward Bound because I saw the PCT prep course, and all of my life since I can remember, I have always wanted to move out west. It was always something I wanted to do, and it was something I had also planned on doing right after we graduated with me and Riley. Actually, it was the biggest thing I was looking forward to, was kind of like starting a life out there and everything like that. And I, for whatever reason, just the idea of like walking and everything like that, it just all seemed to fit. And I just kind of wanted to get away from everything that was going on here and all of the attention that the situation was like garnering at the time. I just needed to be somewhere else. The hardest moment that I had on the course was definitely when we did our 30-mile day. We had one day right at the end of the trip, and it was right when we were going to get into Timberline Lodge, and it was 30 miles. I've never hiked that much in one day before, and it was hard because I had not talked with my family this whole time, and I think 2 or 3 days before we were supposed to go out there, I got a call from my dad. I wasn't expecting anything like that because I figured nothing would really happen that was substantial while I was gone. But he called me and he told me that they were having the trial for Riley's murderer, I guess is the best way I can put that. The trial was supposed to be the same day that we were hiking those 30 miles. It was just so physically taxing, and I think the exhaustion and just also like the success of that day, it was so hard, but it was so worthwhile. And I am proud to say that I only thought about that situation that was going on back home once. And I just think I've never worked that hard to get from point A to point B in, I don't know, a way that was so direct and so immediate and very rewarding. So it was the hardest part for emotional reasons, and the hardest part, I think, physically, but it was also at the same time the best day that I think I had. I think going on that Outward Bound course really just kind of affected me afterwards, was just having something that was simple. I was walking, I was moving my feet forward, and it was kind of just like a direct sort of metaphor to how I was trying to kind of move forward from what had happened to me. As cliche as that all sounds, I mean, it's true. And it was one of those things that I think was so invaluable to me to learn, is that all you have to do is kind of just like put one foot in front of the other, and it will be okay, and you will get to your destination, whatever that might be. And I think that was important for me to realize, and the importance of being outside, and the importance of, kind of seeing everything beautiful and experiencing things that are beautiful, even though something so awful might have happened to you. I know in her book, Cheryl Strayed says putting yourself in the way of beauty and everything like that. And I really latched onto that pretty hard, because that was one of those things that it was just like, there were some things that were so beautiful that just made me cry. And I brought her book with me on the course. And I had people read it because I was like, I love it. You need to read it. It's so good. I had 2 people read it while I was there and all this kind of stuff. And I feel like it wasn't my initial thought, but she's been a huge part of literally my healing process because of what she went through and how I feel connected because of this course. I just think that realizing that it was all just kind of like a game of moving forward, ever moving forward, was good. And if this was just a good way to like actually see that in myself and see the progress that I was making as it was happening, which was just what I needed. So I think what Northwest Outward Bound School has to offer just any students, and even, anybody that kind of comes in contact with people that work there, is I think the biggest, most important thing that I have had from that is sort of the connections that I've been able to make. I think it was interesting too, because one of the Grace, one of the girls who was on the course with me, she said something along the lines of the fact that only the 6 of us will be able to understand what we went through on this course. And I think that's what's also really special, is having a group of people in a community that you kind of build up through, the school, through your courses and things like that, that you can just have that last you forever and are meaningful in a way that maybe certain other relationships in your life aren't, and you wouldn't get from, unless you had an experience like this. It turned into the situation that it was like I took away so many important things that I carry with me still, and the people that I met, whether they were at the base, they were, on our course, they came and they picked us up, they transported us, they brought us our, all of our resupply things. It was just like, all of them were so kind and so just like loving and supportive of everything that we were going through. And I think the fact that they can offer that to people who might be struggling like I was, it's just, I don't know where you get that anywhere else. And I don't know that you necessarily even can. So.
What a powerful experience and story. Thank you for being vulnerable and sharing, Lauren. Our courses can mean such different things depending on the experience of the student, and I'm so glad that yours was a healing one.
And friends, by showing your support this evening, you're giving back to the organization that helped others test their strengths, challenge their fears, and discover that they were more capable than they ever thought possible. Collectively, let's continue to pay it forward tonight with gifts of any level of giving that inspire you and feel meaningful to you.
Together, we can celebrate a future where we can advance our communities and nation towards a bright future.
And there are so many friends, Mark, that are joining us here this evening in support. We're so grateful for this continued community of champions for Northwest Outward Bound School tonight. Thank you, one and all. Eric Norris is joining tonight's chorus of support with a gift of $2,500. Thank you, Eric. And he's joined by Dan and Angela Mahoney, who tonight join in support of Northwest Outward Bound School with a gift of $1,000. Thank you, Angela and Dan.
And Jonna, I'm privileged to work with an amazing board of directors that so deeply supports our work, and each and every day this year has worked side by side with staff to help us navigate our challenges. Tonight, joining from home, we have an anonymous board member indicating they will match the first 10 donors who present gifts of $1,000. Thank you for all that you do.
Indeed. Thank you so much. If a gift of $1,000 inspires your support right here and now, click that donate button this very moment. Have your gifts matched dollar for dollar thanks to this incredibly generous $10,000 matching challenge presented tonight by an anonymous board member.
And our board continues to step up. We have board member Eric Rizza joining us with a gift of $1,000, and I think he even gave a second gift tonight. And he's joined by former board member Eric Vetterline, who is also giving a gift of $1,000 tonight. The Vetterline family is such a big part of our school. Eric's father was our founding chair in 1965, and the entire family has been so instrumental to our organization, particularly our Odin Falls base camp. Thank you, Eric.
And friends, that support continues on. Once again, the first 25 donors that join in support tonight with gifts of $500, as Mark mentioned earlier, they're going to receive that autographed copy of Cheryl Strayed's Wild. What a treasured keepsake to remember your celebrated support of Northwest Outward Bound School. And that support is really robust tonight. We are so grateful to the many friends that are joining in, clicking that donate button here and now.
Yeah, I'm seeing it in addition to Eric Rizza, who's also a former instructor. I see other former instructors like Chris Baker, Roger Mellum, Ross McFarland, Justin Canny, and Doug Wells. Thank you so much. You served the school for so many years, and you're here giving back to make sure that students can experience so much more.
Meredith Cataldo is giving a gift of $250. B. Rizza is joining us with a gift of $500. Thank you, B. Winsley Herbert with a gift of $200. Amberly Hammond with a gift of $100. And Mark, that support is just continuing to roll in tonight. This is a wonderful sight to see.
Jonna, I think it's time we have some fun and give away a Watch to Win prize. What do you think?
I think that's a great idea. Again, everyone that registered to support Northwest Outward Bound School tonight was entered into a drawing free of charge for the chance to win an overnight stay at a lovely Portland Airbnb.
All right, and the winner is Nikki Blandis. Congratulations, Nikki.
Congratulations indeed, Nikki Blandis. You are a Watch to Win prize winner. Congratulations to you. Enjoy that Airbnb stay. We're rolling along with tonight's virtual fundraising celebration, and I'm excited to check in with our online auction packages. Again, if you haven't yet registered to participate in our online auction, you can do so right now by visiting the following link. Again, that link is nwobs2020.ggo.bid, which is showing on your screen right here and now.
That's right, Jonna. We have so many amazing packages. Let's take a moment to highlight another.
Absolutely. So next up, friends, we've got a fantastic package. This package, Mark, is going to take you on a beautiful getaway up to Whidbey Island. Fantastic place to spend some time where you can hike, engage and indulge in some whale watching, fish the beaches, or stroll the walking-friendly shopping venues. You'll enjoy, with this package, a 3-night stay in a cozy 2-bedroom cottage that is ideal for 2 couples or a small family. And Mark, we've got some friends that are bidding on this package. The high bid's at $950. And bidding, again, will continue to be open until 9 o'clock. So friends, if you've got your eye on this package and you'd like to ensure that you are the one heading up to Whidbey Island, you can still make that happen. Again, bidding will be open until 9 o'clock.
I have to say I'm a bit partial to our last package here since I'm very familiar with it. My family a few years ago purchased the house in Lincoln City, and it might be my son's favorite place. So we have a 3-night stay there in the 3-bedroom home, coupled with a day trip to go sandboarding. I'd love to welcome you to what's been my family's place of respite this year.
It's such a fantastic offering, and the bidding right now on this package is at $750. We've got Eric Rizza as our high bidder right here and now. So Eric, you never know, it might be you that gets to go and venture out to Lincoln City. But again, for those friends watching at home that haven't yet placed their bids, you can do so right here and now. So showcase that support for Northwest Outward Bound School. Place those bids. Again, bidding will be open until 9 p.m. this evening. And again, that support that's showcased here tonight through both this online auction that Mark and I are touching on, and throughout our moment of giving, it is truly the philanthropic fuel that propels Northwest Outward Bound School forward in their efforts to provide learning opportunities that strengthen character, build leadership skills, inspire compassion, and help create an ethic of social and environmental responsibility.
And throughout the program, we've been honored to hear from some of our alumni, and right now we're excited to introduce you to another who's joined us remotely to share in their support. Let's take a look at one of our alumni who was on the first women's course in 1968 and hear about her recent discoveries.
In a box in my basement, I came across my important treasures, and in it, I found a scrapbook and a journal written by my 16-year-old self on that first course of Outward Bound. Here we go. August 15th. We were given our solo supplies in the dark morning. 3 yards of fishing line, 2 fish hooks, 6 matches, tin cup, pocket knife, notebook, and a couple of pens, and that's it. I built my shelter, dug my fire ring, collected the wood, and enough fir boughs for a mattress and blankets for 3 nights. Dave Walp told us that we could eat ants or boil a slug if we got desperate. At least I won't have to eat or look at a Vienna sausage for 3 days. They're so horrible. Right now, I think my boots and my dad's old sweater are the most wonderful things in the world. I'm going to go down to the side of the river and see if I can find a huckleberry bush. August 26th. Mr. Bird was right when he said we all grow up with tunnel vision. Outward Bound gave me so many chances. A chance to feel and smell the forests and mountains. A chance to push myself so far. Boy, am I strong. A chance to have a really funny and neat patrol. And a chance to understand how lucky I am. My friends are so cool, but Mom, Abby, Blair, and Dean, they're just the best.
Emily, thank you so much for sharing in part of your journal and your experience with Northwest Outward Bound School. What a treasure that you've shared with us tonight. Thank you. And we know that each of the alumni watching tonight has personally benefited from the Outward Bound experience that was provided. So whether you've discovered a leadership style, perhaps physical fortitude, the majesty of the outdoors, or compassion for others, these discoveries have truly changed you, the community, and the world around.
Truly, no education is complete without Outward Bound, and we want to make it possible to give others this experience that's unlike any other. It's truly thanks in part to generous donations from alumni, parents, corporations, foundations, and others that Outward Bound's network of regional schools provides financial aid and scholarships to more than 6,000 students each year.
And again, there's so many friends that continue to champion tonight. If you're moved to show your support at any level of giving, please join this generous community of supporters right here now. We have Brian Martinson joining us with a gift this evening. Thank you so very much. Doug Wells is joining us with a gift of $500. Amy Moran Compton is joining us with a gift of $1,000. And again, there's a matching challenge on the line for those gifts at the $1,000 level mark. We've got Jeff Rose, Kathleen Wood. This is outstanding. Thank you.
Well, I'm excited to share that Brad Bogdanowitz and Cynthia LeDuc are sharing a gift of $5,000. Thank you, Brad and Cynthia. You're empowering a generation, the next generation of compassionate leaders. And with that challenge, I'm also personally, with my wife Heather, sharing a gift of $2,500. Because I believe now more than ever, students should have a chance to participate in Outward Bound. I'm also showing that Inez Black is presenting a gift of $1,500. Thank you, Inez.
So friends, continue to click that donate button to champion for Northwest Outward Bound School and join friends like Burl and Paige Daniel, who join us with a gift of $2,000 tonight. Thank you so much. Burl is an alumni from one of our earliest courses, N25, and 50 years later, Burl still connects those weeks in Central Oregon to how it has truly shaped his life.
Hearing stories from Burl and other past students and staff is truly a highlight of my job. Along those lines, Peter and Pam Hayes are joining us tonight, and they're hoping to create a huge amount of support from our friends tuned in. Peter and Pam were both instructors in the 70s and have served the school in so many ways, including on our board of directors. Peter and Pam will match the first 24 donors that click the donate button with a gift of $250, a matching challenge of $6,000. So I'll turn that $250 gift into $500 of support right now with this generous challenge. Thank you, Pam and Peter, for all that you've done for the school over the decades.
Steve Smith and Tamara Walker are joining us tonight in support with a gift of $500. And again, those friends with gifts of $500 are receiving that autographed copy of Cheryl Strayed's Wild. Thank you so much, Steve and Tamara. And they're joined by Alan Ewer, who is also giving a gift of $500. Thank you so much, Alan. We've got Brian Martinson joining us, Cameron Parham, Chris Meyer is giving a gift tonight. Mark, that support goes on and on. This is a wonderful sight to see. Justin Canny, Hannah Merritt, thank you so much. Harold Darst is giving a gift tonight. Jeanette Plummer, Jennifer Jacobson. This is a beautiful list. We've got so many friends joining this contribution list tonight. Thank you so much, one and all. And again, remember, as I just mentioned, those first 25 donors that donate those gifts of $500 will receive that autographed copy of Cheryl Strayed's book, Wild. What a treasured keepsake to remember your celebrated support of Northwest Outward Bound School. Mark Chris Ty is joining us tonight with a gift of $250. Again, there's that matching challenge presented tonight. For those gifts up to $6,000, we have a matching challenge on the line for those donations. Northrop Corporation is giving a gift of $250 tonight as well. Thank you both so very much for the sensational showcase of support. We've got Marina Karmanova giving a gift tonight. Michelle Yang, Nelson Hardig, Noel Adams, Olivia Stewart Johnson. I tell you, I mean, there's just no finer moment than seeing such a beautiful, robust list of donors that are chiming in tonight to champion for Northwest Outward Bound School. Thank you all so much for extending such generous support to help deliver transformative learning expeditions that actively engage with students, parents, partners, veterans, and donors throughout our community. And again, remember, as Mark and I have shared with you tonight, our online auction closes at 9 p.m., so there's still time to place those deserving bids in our online auction, and still time to showcase your direct support through tonight's moment of giving this evening. As we round the corner towards the close of tonight's event, it's time to draw the winner for tonight's Wild Raffle. This incredible Wild package again includes a beautiful leather edition copy of Wild, signed of course by the one and only Cheryl Strayed, plus a 3-night Mount Hood cabin stay, a tour of Timberline Lodge, a gift certificate to one of Cheryl's favorite restaurants, Luca, as well as a gift card from Broadway Florist.
And the winner of the raffle is, oh goodness, it's Paula Shilton. Congratulations, Paula. Thank you for joining us tonight, and enjoy that stay and everything that the Wild package has to offer.
Absolutely. Paula Shilton, ticket number 25, congratulations. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight and showcasing your support for Northwest Outward Bound School. It has been such a pleasure to join you all at this year's virtual fundraising celebration for Northwest Outward Bound School. Continue again to place those bids this evening and click that donate button through 9 p.m. tonight.
And on behalf of the entire team at Northwest Outward Bound School, thank you for joining in supporting the celebration. Every person should be given the opportunity to experience adventure and challenge, develop character and compassion, and learn leadership skills and service ethics, regardless of their financial ability. In this unique and challenging year, the support you've shown throughout tonight will allow us to be strong for our students in 2021. There is so much healing, recovery, and rejuvenation needed for our youth. And with your help, we are positioned to help that happen. Your gifts make this possible and are so needed as we navigate these challenges and look ahead to a brighter 2021. Together, we can build the future, and together we are more capable of doing more than we ever thought possible.
Indeed. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. And again, the link for our live stream for this evening's event will be available for several weeks. So feel free to share this celebration with someone who perhaps couldn't make it tonight, someone that you feel will be inspired by the work of Northwest Outward Bound School. Take good care, everyone. Be good to one another, and never stop climbing.